Are you ready? In the red corner, representing faithful followers around the globe, moral values and all that is wholesome, and smelling of sweet vanilla extract, the Mormon. And in the blue corner, representing all that is rational, sane, and scientific, and crushing the beliefs of children everywhere, the Atheist. Destroying all that is good and honorable in podcasting, and hailed by critics nowhere as one of the year's 10 best. Ladies and gentlemen, we give to you the Mormon and the Atheist. You may begin composing your hate mail now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fine, stellar, intelligent debate on the internet sensation, the Mormon and the Atheist. I am, of course, David Anthony, the Atheist. Joining me for this wonderful podcast is my co-host, Sarah the Mormon. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, that was quite the introduction.
That was maybe a little more than was necessary.
Well, that's kind of how you do things
I
in
tend
life.
to embellish a little bit.
I've noticed.
Thank you. You can find our podcast on iTunes. You can visit us on the web at blog.mormonandatheist.com. Feel free to send us your email ideas, or just if you want to send us any ideas that are on the top of your head. If you want to send me some hate mail, if you want to send Sarah some love mail or some recipe ideas, I'm sure she would appreciate that. Direct those to mormonatheist@yahoo.com, and please follow us on the Twitter at MormonNAtheist. So, today's topic of conversation was actually a listener suggestion, and I'm shocked because we actually do have legitimate listeners out there now.
It's kind of scary.
I feel like we have to be more responsible with what we say.
I think we have to be careful, yes.
This is for real now. We're kind of big time.
You have like 5 listeners.
Hey, that's 5 more than we had a couple of months ago.
No, you know what? It's fun.
So we do appreciate those suggestions. We definitely appreciate everybody listening. So today's topic is child indoctrination. This is something that it might polarize the sentiments out there, because I don't know if we can find middle ground, perhaps. It's definitely something that it deserves to be discussed, because I feel very strongly about it, and I know, Sarah, you feel strongly about it, how children should be raised. So we do appreciate the topic suggestion. And just to kind of give, for those who don't maybe know what the definition of indoctrination is, I don't want to phrase this, the imparting of doctrinal dogma, religious doctrinal dogma on a child. It doesn't necessarily have to be a child, but today we're talking about child indoctrination. But basically inculcating your ideas of religion.
I think next time you should just read the Webster Dictionary.
I should, instead of just making this up, you're right, I should just...
Let's just call it what it is. Let's start some reason.
But that's the essential idea, is that you're taking an impressionable mind and you're telling them what they should believe based on your system of beliefs.
Isn't that called parenting?
No, not when it's religion. I mean, we're talking about child...
Okay, but like every topic that we ever discuss, there's always the extremes. And yes, I think teaching a child hellfire, damnation, and full of fear and guilt, that is obviously not healthy. And I would say, by that definition, obviously child indoctrination is a bad idea.
So then why institute any religious idea in your children?
Okay, because, well, that's one extreme. But if you're teaching a child about faith, hope, and love, and living for something bigger than themselves, that's a different story. That's not instilling fear and guilt and, hellfire, damnation. So I think you don't want your child to live by fear and guilt. And I think that's where some people feel like child indoctrination is not a good idea. And it's funny, I always like to Google the topics we discuss just to see what on forums, what people are saying.
Say the word Google again. I like that.
I like to search on the internet.
Okay, go ahead.
There we go. Just to see what people are saying, just the general opinions, because I recognize my opinion is definitely different from the masses.
Usually on every topic, yes.
Yeah, so pretty much if I have an opinion on one matter, I know the majority of people are going to probably
be opposed to it. Correct.
Yes. And I was kind of amazed at how, like, the comments people were making, some were even saying that it was child abuse, that teaching children was child abuse. And when I read that comment, I was like, that's a bit extreme. So I feel like this one's across the board. We need to specify balanced teaching, I guess, in parenting, not forcing one's opinion of guilt and fear, which I know is something that you have an issue with of religion in general.
Clearly. Well, I think the idea of religious indoctrination is as bad as the idea that we should be cutting off the tip of an infant boy's penis.
Okay, well, when I look at my childhood and how I grew up, I did not in any way I feel like my parents did a pretty good job balancing religious doctrine and the approach of being open to ideas and thinking for yourself. I think my parents did a good job balancing it. And I was actually very glad for the way I grew up, because I am the person I am today because of that. Or maybe I shouldn't think.
Well, okay. That's a point from my side. That's
I was like, did I just make my point? Or
right.
Just...
No, I'm counting that in my column.
Anyway, what I was trying to say,
yes.
I really feel like religion gives families and children a bigger meaning or something more to live than just self-gratification in life.
Let me just point out before I address that.
Yeah.
We are married. Not to one another. We are each married to separate spouses.
Yes.
But neither of us have children.
No, but
so we're not speaking from direct experience of raising kids. Yeah. Most of what I have to say in my views of parenting are based on what I observe and my own upbringing.
Yes, I would say the same thing. It's based on how I grew up and, what I see around me. And obviously, and I really do want children. I want to have as many kids as I can, as I can handle. I don't know how many that is going to be.
As you can handle.
It might be 2. It might be 4.
How many can your husband handle?
Yeah, that might be the real question.
Okay, that's...
Because he has to deal with me as well.
Right.
But I grew up in a home of 6 kids, and I really appreciated the way my parents raised us, like I mentioned before. And I have an aunt she's very religious. She's Mormon. She married a man who's not Mormon. And so she thought when she was younger, it was easier she took the kids to church with her. But as the kids started to get old, they wanted to go to fishing or hang out with dad on Sunday instead of go to church with her.
Sounds like a good plan to me.
Well, of course, what kid is going to say, all right, I think I want to go to church? And it's just like, okay, if you're going to let a 5-year-old order what he wants for dinner every time you're going to go to McDonald's, chances are he's going to get the same time. If you're going to give him a choice of, do you want a cheeseburger, fries, or shake? Or do you want a lean fish with steamed broccoli? If you're going to just let your child decide what they want for dinner, guess what? They're going to probably choose the unhealthy cheeseburger every time, even though you might explain to them, you know what? The fish and the veggies, they're going to be better for you, even though they don't taste quite as good. The child at that stage in their life, like we've talked about before, they're not going to think about long-term what's best for them. They're thinking about what they want then, there, and now. And that's not good parenting, to just let your child have whatever they want all the time.
So, but what are the benefits specifically of...
The benefits of this is that their child is healthier in the long term.
No. Of instituting your dogmatic beliefs about your religion. Why is that? That's what we're discussing.
Your dogmatic beliefs. I think that children should be taught religion and taught the basic fundamentals of spirituality, but I don't think that they should be taught to be judgmental or to look down on other religions, we can't be dogmatic in on how we teach. And that's taking an extreme where
But why specifically religion?
Why religion?
Yes.
Because
I get the sense that, or I get the argument that, of course, we want to instill in our kids the idea of good ethics and being kind to one another and living a respectable life and being respectful to others. Why can you not just teach those values separate from religion?
Well, I think religion provides a good framework. I think a lot of parents struggle in how to parent. And I'm sure I'll be figuring this out very soon. And I'm sure my opinions will be changing, but I do know what I'm going to strive to do with my children. As you know, I always look for my studies with you.
Of course.
And I found a recent study of a professor who surveyed 16,000 children, mostly first graders and their parents. And this research, he came to the conclusion that religion had a positive effect on self-controlled behavior and peer relationships. And he also found that when parents argued frequently about the religion, the children were more likely to have problems. So in his studies, he found that seemed to be a correlation. Now, I don't know if that correlation was that parents who had better behaved kids were more likely to go to church and be religious. Obviously you don't know the causation, but I do think that there are several reasons why religion is good for children. First of all, I think that religion provides a good social network and a support group for parents. And I think that it's a good opportunity for children when they're in these type of networks and they hear parental messages at home, they're more likely to take heart to these messages. So I think the social, support is is a positive, favorable result of organized
I don't
religion.
disagree. And that's one of the things that I've always said is why we can't eradicate religion is because of the support aspect. But I think you can have support networks that aren't religious and you can get the same benefit.
Well, maybe you can.
No, not maybe. You definitely can.
Where's your studies? No, just kidding. Support it.
I quote a Harvard study of 38,000 children.
Okay, you go and bring that.
Okay.
Okay, but the second, I really do feel like religion is the type of values that are instilled and circulated in religious congregations. They are, about self-sacrificing, they're pro-family, they're about living for something outside of yourself. And I think that is something that's really important to teach children because so many kids today are all about me. We live in the me generation that we've heard about. And I think religion provides the framework to look outside of yourself and to have a greater meaning for life.
Okay, I've heard some good things.
You've heard some good.
I don't disagree with what you're teaching your kids as far as living outside of yourself,
but you
doing
think
well for the community. But you don't. Why? What I'm asking is, why do you need the religious dogma behind it? Why do you need the stories of the Bible?
Why do you always say religious dogma? You always tie in religious and dogma together. It's not necessarily. I feel like I'm very open in learning about other religions, and my religious views are not a matter of I don't have anything else better to believe in. It's a matter of I've looked at everything and I feel like this is the best thing for me in my life.
But a dogma is the established belief of religion. That's the definition of dogma. Dogma is just what the religious beliefs are of a particular religion. You're going to raise your kids to be Mormon. I'm saying, why can you not teach them the values of being good kids, of having good ethical boundaries, of being respectful, of living outside of themselves, of doing charitable work, volunteering, without having to teach them that Joseph Smith founded our religion. These are the principles he decided upon when he founded our religion. This is what we believe. It's based upon a form of Christianity. Why do you need that I think it muddles up and clouds all the rest of it. You don't need that religious portion of it.
Well, I think when you're a kid, your framework, your foundation for your beliefs and framework for building the rest of your life is formed and developed. And
you can do it without religion.
You know what? I think maybe some people could. I think though.
No, I think we all could.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
Don't even start with entitled to opinion. I think. Look,
go ahead.
Your entire argument last time we spoke, which was on the topic of premarital sex, was that teens should not engage in premarital sex because their brains are not developed yet. They can't make decisions that have such an impact on their lives. And yet you want kids who are 2, 3, 4, 5 to adhere to values that you believe.
Okay, yes.
Values that will.
I feel like my beliefs have made my life so much better. I feel like I am the person I am today because of how I was raised.
But look, here's the point. Here's the point.
Okay.
You are asking kids to accept these beliefs. Kids, you yourself say that their brains are not developed. Okay, they cannot make distinctions